Oh, hello. Welcome to another video. In today's video, we're going to do a rundown of the Talons of the Emperor. How do these Kings of Launch stack up a year on? So, for those of you that don't know, when Warhammer 40,000 Kill Team first launched, the Custodes truly dominated those first couple of tournaments. They did get a nerf, and since then they've kind of disappeared. Let's have a little look at their list. So the Custodian fire team and the Sisters of Silence fire team are our two fire teams. Both have security, which is great, and you're going to be taking security with these more than with anything else in the game, in fact, because the Custodians excel at doing security, they really do. There are two fire teams. You always want to take at least one Custodian team, with apologies to Oro, Ouroboros on the Discord, who really tried to make double Sisters of Silence work for the first couple of months of the game there. But I think you always want to take at least one Custodian team. There's basically two builds for this. You're either going 4 Custodies, or I think more optimally, and more of the time, you're going to go for 5 Sisters and 2 Custodes. You probably want to make your leader a sister for reasons that will become clear in a minute. And I think your basic build, if you start with 2 Custodes with Custodian Spears and 5 Sisters with the Great Blades, so 5 Vigilators, one of which is your leader. And then from there you modify, like if you see from the map and the mission that you're going to need backline objective holders, as you do quite often, then dilute your Sisters of Silence with swords down to add in a bolter or 2 bolters. So you've got those on your backline. And if you can see that the team that you've drawn against has a lot of high AP weaponry, then maybe you want to switch out your Custodians with the Spears for the Custodians with the Storm Shield and the Sentinel Blade. That's, I think, the basic build here. Flamers against Hordes. I've stupidly written on this slide they have no opportunity cost. Of course, they do have the opportunity cost of taking a Vigilator. What I meant is they don't have the standard opportunity cost. People say Flamers are rubbish. They say Flamers are rubbish because they're much worse than a Plasma Gun or a Melter Gun or a Grenade Launcher. In a world where it's a Flamer versus a Bolter versus a combat weapon, then maybe if you're coming up against a Horde team, you might try and make Flamers work to try and make Torrent work. It's a bit of an ask. It is a bit of an ask. Let's go through the units and see what we mean and how I've derived all of these ideas about how you should build the fire teams. So starting off with the Custodian Guard, let's look at their stat block. Movement of 3, APL of 4. Oh my god, in case you weren't aware, this was nerfed down to 3 in an early FAQ. It'd be interesting to know whether or not they'd roll that back, that change. Now, for those of you that don't know, so I'm going to digress slightly. Over in 40k, they've recently released a balanced data slate which rolled back some of the nerfs that they put in, because in 40k they got themselves into a position of, I believe, they'd written all the codexes and they were all of an equivalent, and play tested them all together, and they were all of an equivalent power level, and then as they released them one at a time, they're releasing a really powerful army into the game, and that army is so overpowered compared to all the old armies that are in there that they then have to nerf them. And now, later on, they've released more of the codexes that are all of an equivalent power level, so they reverse some of those nerfs. It'd be really interesting to me, we'll have to wait for the next round of FAQs to see if they will, if they might roll back the Custodian APL limit change from 3 back to 4, just in light of the fact that there are loads more bespoke teams running around now with loads of different tools and ways to deal with the Custodes, so maybe the 4th APL is not as obnoxious as it used to be. It was interesting design space, and it's sad to see it closed off. GA1 and a def of 3, a 2+ save and 18 wounds. Like, a 2+ save and an 18 wounds is obscene. You just cannot remove these easily. You cannot. Also, They cannot be injured. You ignore modifiers to their APL and they're not affected by stun. Right? And then if you really want, if they're not tanky enough for you, you can take Storm Shields and give them a 4-up invulnerable save. So if you're coming up against an army like Vet Guard, where they have a lot of high AP weapons, then maybe you take your Storm Shields. Right? It's obnoxious to remove. Bear in mind that you've got security. So you've got things like Seized Ground. You've got things like Central Control, where you're scoring points just for existing, right? You're scoring your VP just for existing in the relevant place. And I am certainly playing Kill Team with half an eye, at least, on the Warhammer World Tournament format, where, you know, scoring your VP, getting your secondaries every turn is really important. Every game is really important. You really want to be looking at how I'm going to get 6 secondaries. I think Custodes have quite a nice time trying to score their secondaries. So, really resilient lads. Like I said on the previous slide, I think generally you want to go for the Spear, unless you see there's a lot of AP coming your way, in which case you go for the Storm Shield. Storm Shield rules are here, so you either have a Storm Shield and a Sentinel Blade, okay, which has both a shooting and a combat profile, or you go for the Spear, which, you know, is obviously, it doesn't have the range limit, so it's a piercing one and it's got 3-5 rather than 3-4. It doesn't have the range limit, makes it a bit more versatile, and the Spear does a crit of 7, so you're one hitting a novitiate or a guardsman, which is pretty funny. And lethal 5+ as well, so you're gonna get a crit. You're gonna roll 5 dice, you're gonna get a crit, you're just gonna decapitate these guys, right? The Custodian Leader is a funny one. So usually when we take the Leader upgrade, we see +1 wound and +1 BS and WS. The regular Custodes is already BS and WS 2, which means that if you're taking Sisters, you should always take a Sisters Leader, just because they're getting more from that Leader upgrade. Literally all your Custodian Guard Leaders getting is 1 wound, right? So obviously if you're taking 4 Custodes, then you're going to take 1 Leader and you have an extra wound on him. But I think if you're taking Sisters at all, you should make one of your Sisters the leader. But yeah, that's the Custodes. You can just take 4 of them, but it's just whether you'll struggle to do enough damage and to get onto enough points with a couple of the APL nerf and the other nerf we're going to look at later on. But I think 2 Custodes and 5 Sisters of Silence is a really quite a solid thing. Let's look at the Sisters of Silence then. So I really like Vigilators. Vigilators don't have a ranged attack. They have 4 attacks, hitting on 3s, 4/6 damage, lethal 5-up. They're going to kill most things quite easily, right, if they get into combat with them. The stat block's pretty standard, okay. They have got 8 wounds, a 3-up save, death 3, move 3, APL 2, GA 1. You know, pretty standard. They have a special rule, which is rarely going to come up. So they can't be targeted by psychic actions, which is funny if you're playing against demons and the opponent takes horrors and things for some reason. You just go, well. And while an operative is in red, they can't perform psychic powers at all. It's nice to have, but it's honestly rarely going to come up. So you can have the Great Blade. Alternatively, you can have the same platform with a flamer, which is a standard flamer, or a bolter, which is a standard bolter. I basically work on the principle with these that you want to take 5 Vigilators, and then you look at the table and you go, okay, am I going to need to have someone that stands at the back of the board all game on this point? If it's a mission where you're going to need to do that, you want to take a bolter, okay? But if you can afford to be moving up the board, take Vigilators. I would always go for the Superior with a Great Blade, just because the Superior for this gets more for her choice of being a Superior than the Custodes do, because she gets this upgrade to being BSWS2. And I go for the Great Blade because it's the best option. And then you've got a charge at the board, and your Superior more than anyone else is certainly going to have one of these excellent faceplates. I think there's a strong argument for taking, if you're taking 5 Vigilators, take 5 faceplates. Always take a faceplate on your Vigilator. If for no other reason, then you can say all the Vigilators have faceplates. So if you end up taking 5, take 5. If you end up taking 3 because you need 2 bolters down on your back line, and take 3 faceplates. It just means that you know, When you take damage, you subtract 3 from the damage from a minimum of 0, and that's so good in combat because it means even if somebody charges you, they hit you, it changes the maths. It means that you still might kill them even though you're going second. Really powerful. It also makes it less likely you're going to get shot down on the way to combat. Really powerful. Really powerful. I love the faceplates. Never let an opponent con you into saying that he takes faceplates on his Custodes, though. I have seen people claim that because they haven't read it properly and they've got a Custode with a faceplate, which is obnoxious, which is why it's against the rules. Flamers, like I've said a couple of times already, if you're playing against hordes and you want to try and make flamers work, then maybe. But honestly, unless you're playing novitiates with special flamers, Torrent's just not very good. You need to be really well positioned to get Torrent to work. Yeah. Maybe against a horde team. Maybe. But I still quite like the Vigilator. Equipment. So Oath Parchment is a pretty standard like a thing where you buy it and you get a free reroll without spending the CP. Don't know that it's worth 3 EP for a reroll, to be fair. Tanglefoot Grenade's pretty interesting. It's not a shooting attack, so it's not something that takes up your shooting, and it's not an indirect weapon or anything like that, so it's not hit by the grenade nerf, despite being a grenade. It is something that you take it, if you have it, you can do once per game. You select and... No, in fact, hang on. Operative only, perform the following action during the battle. Oh no, it can only perform it once, yes, there we go. And you can't be in engagement range, but you can subtract 1 from an enemy's APL within red. I mean, potentially game winning, right? If you're tussling with somebody for an objective, if you've got your Custode near the objective and they've got 2 of their APL2 models near the objective, you lob a grenade at them and then it's your objective or your centre of the board or whatever it is. So potentially game winning, especially in a team where you're probably only going to have 7 bodies. Especially if you've only got 4 bodies, you know, take the Tanglefoot Grenades, but consider them. Consider them if you have the points left over. Obviously, if you've taken 5 faceplates, you can't take any Tanglefoot Grenades, but I do think they have a place. Misericordia I wouldn't bother with. It's pretty good. It's not a bad piece of equipment. Each time you fight in combat, use the ability. If you do roll a d6 on a 3-up, the operative that fought in the combat suffers 2 mortal wounds. I guess if you're running 4 Custodes as your team, and therefore you don't want to spend 10 equipment points on faceplates, then you could consider Misericordias. Honestly, I prefer the Tanglefoot Grenades in that scenario. I think if I had 4 Custodes, I'd give 3 of them Tanglefoot Grenades and just have the leader without a Tanglefoot Grenade. And only really say the leader without a Tanglefoot Grenade so I could remember, you know, which one didn't have it. I think will be my pick for Custodes. And for Sisters, it will be 5 faceplates. And then if I was running 3 Witch Seekers and 2 Bolters, then 3 faceplates and then a Tanglefoot Grenade on a Custode. Psych Out Grenades are funny. It used to be, before the grenade nerf, that if you drew demons or Thousand Suns at the tournament, then you threw all the usual things out the window and went, right, I'm taking 5 Psych Out Grenades because it's against Psychers and Demons. It's 3/5, lethal 5 up, 4 dice, you know, hitting on 3s. That's really, really good. Blast, right, you're going to just blow them off the page. You're going to take 1 now because of the grenade nerf. I think if you're in the tournament setting and you draw the Demons, right, or the Thousand Suns or the Grey Knights, then consider the Psych Out Grenade just because it's, you know, it's a 3/5 lethal 5 up blast weapon, rolls 4 dice. It's going to do some damage in the right matchup, but it's less funny now because it's no longer a ha ha ha, you're playing them, so I'll take loads of them. Grey Knights have the same problem because they have this piece of equipment as well. And that's it on equipment. Ploys. Oh, the ploys are all really good. So Aegis of the Emperor. Until the end of the turn input, each time a critical damage will be inflicted upon friendly Talons of the Emperor from an attack dice, you can choose for it to be normal damage instead. You have to spend it once at the start of the game, but it means that you can't be crit. You just can't be crit. You just can't be crit. Each time a critical damage, not the first time. Each time you just can't be crit. Like, that's bonkers. Creeping Dread. So I love contagion type abilities, and this is contagion, but with a range of blue instead of a range of white. It doesn't have the movement penalty of injure, but it does have the -1 to weapon skill and ballistic skill. Again, it's pretty good. If you're creeping up there with your vigilators and you turn on Creeping Dread in a clutch turn just to give the opponent -1 to his weapon skill, it's really good. It's really good. Peerless Warriors, do you want Bolt of Discipline and the combat one, but at the same time for the same price? You know, it's good because it's Bolt of Discipline and Hateful Assault at the same time. Go for it. Yeah, like, they're all really good. The only problem is that you're going to run out of CP. So you're going to have to exercise real control and skill and judgment because all of your ploys are really good. And it's going to be really tempting to go into the first game and go, okay, well, I turn on Aegis the Emperor and I turn on Peerless Warriors. You know, turn 1, I've got 1 CP left. Maybe I end up using that CP on an Arcane Genetic Alchemy at some point during the turn, and then you start to run out of CP. So, yeah, they're really good though. Arcane Genetic Alchemy. So you can play this as tactical ones, you can play it as a reaction. In the roll defense dice, step of a shooting attack, after rolling your dice, for a CP you can change a normal save to a critical save. It could save your life, right? If you use it when you need it, it could save your life. And on a Custode, that's a big deal. It only works on Custodes, doesn't work on the Sisters of Silence, but still, pretty good. Brotherhood of Demigods. Now, this one was severely nerfed, so it used to be absolutely obscene. Use the tactical ploy at the end of the firefight phase, or when it's your turn to activate an operative, select a Custodes to perform a free action. This does not count as an activation, so notably you could move. You could just move an extra guy at the end of the firefight phase onto an objective handily, or just move an extra guy through the turn, which is a bit mental. So they changed it. The FAQ here, which just says it has to be only at the end of the firefight phase, and you can only do a fight or an Overwatch action. Okay, so it's much more situational. It becomes quite a weak ploy compared to the amazing strategic ploys. It becomes quite a weak ploy, but still, when it comes in, it'll come in, right? I don't think they should. So I kind of think reversing the APL nerf would be interesting. I don't think they should reverse the nerf for Brotherhood of Demigods. I think the way it was originally written, like, I think this was a genuine FAQ rather than, like, I know both of these points are in the FAQ because they came before the balanced data slate, but the APL one definitely felt like it was a nerf. It was a change for balance and not just what it was presented as, which was a errata, like, oh, we meant to write a 3. Like, no, you didn't mean to write a 3. You meant to write a 4, and now you've changed it to a 3 because you've realised that they're winning. This, I think maybe that they didn't originally see quite how obscene this could be, and they had to be shown in tournaments like, oh, actually, we need to change that. So I would leave Demigods how it is, which leaves it situational, but it's not a bad ploy. Like, compared to some of the bespoke teams where they have one ploy in there that you just never use, like, it's still a good ploy when it comes up, and you could do with an extra Overwatch or an extra fight action, you know? And then Talons are, I love the Talons ploy. It's so fluffy and funny, and it reminds me of the, I've never read the book, but you know there was a Black Library book, and they brought out the 2 models of the Custode and the Sister fighting kind of side by side, back to back. That's this, right? So use this tactical ploy when a friendly Talons the Emperor operative within red of an enemy objective, or within white, the center of an objective is activated. If they're Anathema Psychana, so a Sister of Silence, select 1 friendly Custodes visible within blue. If they're a Custodes, select 1 friendly Sister visible within blue. Both are activated at the same time, and you can perform their actions in any order, so they become like one super unit. You can shoot with one, shoot with the other, move back with the first one, you know, so you can do things in any order, which is really fun for, like, you can, if you have the objectives, you could have one of them unlock the objective, and the other one pick up the objective and run away, which is possibly the most obvious kind of use I see for it. You know, you could unlock the objective, pick up the objective, run away, and then shoot with the first one again, or something like that, right? It's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool anyway. You know, it's not particularly the best one. I think the strategic ploys are amazing, and you're going to have to be really, you're going to have to try really hard not to just pump all your CP into strategic ploys all the time, right? Like, oh, our Peerless Warriors, yeah, I'll turn that on every turn because I want to shoot more, but then, or fight more, you know, so you have to see. They're really good though. I really enjoy, but I do enjoy that Talons ploy. That's quite fun. Right, final thoughts. Nobody plays these anymore. Like, it's because they were really, really good, and then they stopped being really, really good, and you barely see them. But when they do turn up, they will give you some trouble. I think with much less crack grenades around now, they might be in for a bit of a renaissance, because there are teams like novitiates can't really deal with the custode. You've got your plasma pistol, right? And then you've got your one crack grenade. And then what do you do? Charge them in combat? Charge them in combat, do, 7-8 damage, and then die. So it's going to take you like 3 girls charging into combat one after the other to kill one custode, because the custode is going to one-hit you. And even if you charge and get the first hit, the custode is going to one-hit you. And as novitiates, you just don't have the long-range firepower. Right, Harlequins. Harlequins have got one fusion pistol now. And I know they've got tricks, but I think custodes are in an interesting place, especially with the grenade nerf. Just for being obnoxious and being really hard. If your team's main thing is that it's going to try and remove people in close combat, well, good luck. Good luck. Because these guys have got 18 wounds, they'll hit you back for 7. I'd consider running custodes just for a bit of a laugh, but I've got like 5 custodes with spears, and I've got like 5 sisters with swords, which is the core of what I'd want to run. But I think if I wanted to run them as a proper team, I'd want the bolter sisters to swap in. I'd want some shield custodes to swap in. And I've got a lot on. I'm only just getting my Phobos finished. I want to get some painting done on those, but I think there's something to custodes. I genuinely do, even in the post-nerf state. Now, a couple of things. Hope you enjoyed the video. I have tried to tweak the sound, right? So I've been getting some complaints that at the start of every slide transition, the sound kind of goes all the way up here really loud and then goes down again, and then goes all the way up here really loud and then goes down again. I've tried to fix that, okay? And what I've tried to do is it's really tough. What I think is happening is PowerPoint is receiving the sound, and then it's kind of auto-leveling. It's going, oh, that's really loud, and turning it right down. And then it goes to the next slide and it resets and it goes, oh, that's really loud, and turns it right down. So I've tried to turn the gain on the microphone right down, okay, to the point where PowerPoint doesn't automatically try and level it off. But at the same time, what that risks is there's a chance this video is too quiet. So I need you to let me know in the comments what the sound's been like for you. It's a chance that it's still doing the thing when it goes really loud and then goes really quiet. It goes really loud and then goes really quiet. It's possible you just want me to stop shouting at you on this slide and making the problem myself with my voice. That's also possible. So let me know about the sound. If this is exactly how you want it, then excellent. If there's still issues, I don't really know at this point. Maybe I need to buy a different microphone or so. I don't know what the issue is. So there's that. If you liked the video, please subscribe. Right, we're getting subscribers are coming in every day. We'd love to get to 1,000 subscribers. Actually, I want to get to 1,000 and like 1,200 and some, because there's another teacher in my school that has a channel where he plays the guitar, right? And I have a competitive need to get more subscribers than him, so it's very important. Join the Discord if you like Discords. The Discord's really, really big now, really, really popular. That's good. If you want to buy something, Element Games link down there. Noble Knight Games in the US, that's all there as well. You can go and look at my Instagram. It's not got a massive following, but you can see some of the miniatures I've painted. You can see my custodes and sisters from back in the day. Yeah, all those things are down there for you to read. Cheerio, folks. Hope you enjoyed the video. And I'll see you again tomorrow for a live hobby stream. Bye. Cheerio.